Hello everyone, it's me, Ollie Uwasnop. And before anything else, I just want to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers, and thank you so much for all of your nice comments on the last video. I was losing my mind reading all of them, thank you. Since you guys liked the last one, this is part 2 to my last character redesign video, where I rewrote and redesigned my OCs Bonnie and Dirge. Today I'll be redesigning the main characters, May and Garlic, as well as the other side character, Elliot. And I'm saying main and side characters, but it's just one of those things where it's an ensemble cast. You can tell one or two are just a little more main character, you know what I mean? Before we start, really quick refresher, all these characters are from a story set in the post-apocalypse. As for the characters I redesigned in the last video, Bonnie is a ghost and Dirge is a boy cursed so he can never sleep. Last thing, I'm doing 3 redesigns plus an extra illustration in this video, so to keep it from being too long, I probably won't go as in-depth on each character as I did last time. Trust, it is not because I don't love them, it's because I don't want this video to be super long, okay? Trust me. But yeah, that's pretty much it, so let's get into the redesigns. Yay! So I'm going to be starting with the redesign that I'm the least confident in this group, which is Elliot's. If you're excited about the fishbowl head, don't be, because it's leaving pretty soon. My condolences for you. I do think he came out pretty cute in the end, but this is definitely the design that I changed the most, so I think that's probably why I feel so unsure about it. So as for his backstory, he was May and Garlic's childhood friend and neighbor pre-apocalypse, and these 3 ended up beginning their journey together, and then they meet Bonnie and Dirge later and group up. Elliot was originally supposed to be sarcastic and a little more lighthearted to contrast with the grumps of the group. When I was redesigning him though, I got a little worried that he would be too similar to Bonnie in that way, but in the end I decided Bonnie is a bit more silly and unpredictable, and Elliot is kind of more on the witty but still grounded side, and is definitely still someone that you can rely on, which Bonnie is not at all. He's the type of person to immediately go along with any bit you throw at him. And he's also probably not the most responsible person in the world, opting to do things that are fun and exciting rather than the unpleasant things that kind of need to be done, which can cause some strain between him and the other characters, but he's definitely capable of stepping up when he needs to. Elliot has like fun older sibling energy, I think. He's also probably the most chill of the cast, but I imagine a lot of it comes from him denying the situation that they're in. He's also trying to remain in good spirits for the good of his friends, but that'll definitely take a toll on him the longer that goes on. Bottling your feelings is not good for you, or so I've heard. Elliot is also the oldest in the group, along with Garlic, both of them being 13. These two serve as somewhat stabilizing characters in their own ways. Elliot is a lot more friendly and easily trusted than Garlic, so it's him who can convince Bonnie and Dirge to join their group later on. But anyway, that's Elliot. I like him a lot. I think he's very funny. I hope you like him too. Next up, we have Garlic. I thought about changing her name because Garlic is kind of stupid, but I physically can't. Like, these names are so dumb, and I picked them when I was 14, and they are so dear to me. I can't change them. Garlic is May's cousin, and lived with her and May's mom since she was around 8 or 9, I think. Like I mentioned before, she's 13 years old, just a little bit younger than Elliot, and she is incredibly protective of May. She's known May since she was super young, and she's been looking out for her basically her whole life. This protective streak does extend to Elliot and eventually Bonnie and Dirge as well, but it's not quite as strong as it is with May, which is actually kind of ironic because May is probably the most self-sufficient 9-year-old you'd ever meet. Garlic is also very stubborn and cautious, like Dirge, so you can imagine they're both pretty reticent of each other when they first meet, but they end up agreeing on a lot of stuff later on. I referred to Garlic as a grump earlier, which isn't exactly true. She comes off kind of cold a lot of the time, but she's just like me for real in the sense that she just has crazy RBF. Often people find her intimidating when they first meet her because of that, even though it's not really a reflection of how she is or acts. May knows this and is actually one of the only people who doesn't judge her by her cover. Because this story revolves around a bunch of kids, I don't really want there to be a ton of violence in it, even though I did make it so it's kind of set in a zombie apocalypse, sort of. I'll expand more on that later, don't worry. But I will say, out of these characters, Garlic is probably the most willing and capable of defending her friends from harm if it comes down to it. She's really brave. Not that the others aren't brave, but she got that dog in her. That dog being a fierce desire to protect her friends. She's also a bit of a collector, if you will. I have a trait of, I just love to give a character a big backpack and then think about what they put in it. So for Garlic, she definitely carries the provisions and the first aid kits and stuff like that. But in addition to that, she'd also pick up cool rocks she finds and put them in her pockets. Like, she's that kind of kid, you know? Me. So that's Garlic. I'm realizing now that I took away Elliot's fish head because I thought it didn't make any practical sense in the narrative, but I didn't think about the fact that Garlic literally has straight green hair for no reason. It's fine. It grows that way naturally, okay? Trust me, it's fine. And then finally we have the main character, May. This is my favorite design of both videos. I love her. I love her. She's so cute. As I mentioned, May is 9, making her the youngest of the group. She's also arguably the leader, being the one guiding them and keeping everyone in line, despite her age and general itty-bittiness. She's very deadpan, similar to Garlic, but for her, it's not just RBF. This kid is not a silly jokester, okay? She comes off as dead serious about nearly everything, nearly all the time, no matter how benign it may be. Though she's almost comically responsible for her age, she doesn't have the same cautionary instincts that Garlic and Dirge have. She takes people at face value and can often be too trusting. She doesn't really lie, and thus she doesn't really expect people to be lying to her either. But this trait could and probably will definitely get the group in hot water in certain situations. I did the same big bag thing for her. In her bag, I think she has maps and compasses and things like that, and also a few of her favorite books that she managed to salvage from the wreckage of her house, and a little stuffed animal that she's had since she was a baby. Despite her non-silly nature, she also really likes creatures and critters alike, especially bugs and rats, and they inexplicably like her back. It's kind of like, you know that one video where this kid, like, caught a raccoon and they're just petting it like a cat, and for some reason the raccoon is just letting them do it? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like that. But yeah, okay, she might have a couple rats hiding in her book bag, okay? And maybe some in her coat. Who's to say? Not me. I'm not gonna get super deep into every plot point I've thought of so far, but one aspect of the story is that the group is trying to find May's mom, who they are under the assumption of and kind of hoping is with a group of other survivors that they've heard about. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. This is also part of the reason why May is so determined and responsible when it comes to their mission. She wants to find her mom. May also isn't affable or friendly like Bonnie and Elliot, but she does care a lot about other people in general. Thus, the nature of the apocalypse, which again, I'll go over in a second, is pretty hard for her to grapple with. In the same way she's driven to guide and protect her friends, she also wants to find a way to help everyone during a catastrophe like this. Also, did I mention I love her? Because I love her, and that's her, and I love her, and she's so cute. So finally, I did a little illustration of the whole group together, and I'm going to be speaking about some general stuff about the story. Again, a lot of this is still really up in the air, but here's what I've come up with for now. Like I said, the apocalypse in the story is kind of a zombie apocalypse, but there were 2 phases, basically. The first half originated in large cities or kind of any dense metropolitan area, like with a lot of infrastructure and a lot of people all together. And from these areas, there were implosions, kind of. The effects obviously being the most catastrophic in the cities, but they still spread really wide. Presumably everyone close enough to actually witness these disasters died, so there aren't first-hand accounts of exactly what happened, but it's clear from the wreckage of these cities that it was powerful and really devastating. The further you got from the cities, though, the clearer the effects became. There were fires and spores and toxic rain and stuff. The type and duration of these smaller disasters was different depending on proximity to cities. Luckier people only had to wait weeks for it to die down, and others hid out for months. But yeah, that's basically the first phase. The second phase, like I said, it's kind of a zombie apocalypse. Anyone who died in the first disasters is not actually dead, but they aren't typical zombies. The energy and souls of the people remained, and yeah, if their physical body wasn't completely destroyed, the souls can and do repossess it, as well as use it to seek out living people to drag into torment with them. But those who do not have a body to return to, which is usually people who were in the cities when they died and got, vaporized, basically, are left to an agonizing existence of amorphous, purposeless life. Frighteningly, if they encounter a living person, they are able to forcibly inhabit their body. I sort of, for some reason, think of this as like a D&D mechanic, where like you would have to like roll a save to see if it can possess your body. This is not important, that's just fun for me. Back on topic, as for our group, they're in a really bad spot. The nature of the disaster is pretty much unknown in the beginning, especially these kids who don't have anyone to lead them or anyone to tell them about what's happening or any like news or anything. So their initial goal, which was laid out to them by May's mom before she disappeared early on, is to get to the nearest city and see if they can find more information and supplies and survivors, anything basically. So that's where the 5 of the kids are heading, but they don't know that most towns and cities have become effectively hotspots of possessed murderous bodies and ambient tortured souls, not to mention the repossessed corpses they'll find along the way. But yeah, that's everything. That's all I have decided. I really hope you all liked this video. I'm really sorry about how long it took to come out. I have a lot of classes right now and I'm just really busy in general, but I want to say again how grateful I am for all the nice comments on the last video and 100 subscribers. Wow! That's so cool. And just let me know if you have any video suggestions. I have a ton more old OCs I'd be happy to redesign and yap about if you're interested, and I could do more on these guys if you want. I'm really up for anything, so feel free to comment any thoughts, and please subscribe if you like the video. Yay! So again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Okay, that's it. Bye!